Welcome back. We're speaking to the Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Senator Roel Reid. Minister, a major concern among those who are at university and those who are about to enter university is the matter of affordability.
Yes.
And the high cost of tertiary education. You have recently spoken to this. Elaborate on your thinking.
Yes, it's a concern that I have raised, and particularly because I am now focused on 0 to 29. It's my responsibility to get them through high school and beyond high school. How do I ensure that as many of them have an opportunity for tertiary education? Our country has not been growing as fast in terms of GDP as we would certainly ideally want. And the income inequality has widened, and therefore I'm looking at opportunities for students who are qualified to move to tertiary education. We have done some reform of the Student Loan Bureau to ensure there's adequate funding and greater access, but there are also a cohort of students who, by virtue of their own social circumstances, their parents are unable even to qualify for Student Loan Bureau, and those are the particular students that I'm going to be targeting. We have expanded our portfolio of JAMVAT funding by $100 million.
100
Yes, yes, for the new fiscal year. And that will be able to enable far more coverage and reach for those students who are vulnerable, yes.
And one of the positive outcomes of the expansion of the JAMVAT program is that it will enable students volunteerism.
Absolutely.
So that fits in well with your emphasis on values and attitudes.
Absolutely, because particularly young persons, you know, in the words of John F. Kennedy, you know, it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And it can't be that, you know, we're giving everybody a free ride. And to the extent they get this opportunity and these benefits, we want them to in return, help to build their communities, help to build the society to make Jamaica more prosperous and more progressive.
Yeah. You have also spoken about the importance of good parenting skills.
Absolutely.
Tell me how you situate that with regard to your own education and youth portfolio.
Well, that is absolutely very important, because the cornerstone of every society is a good and healthy family. And it must begin at the point where we plan to have children and plan to raise good and healthy families. And so even at the very early stage, we want to sensitize our adults about their overall responsibility of raising their children right from the start, right into adulthood. And we have to communicate how their own behavior and conduct, how proper nutrition and all the important support is required to ensure that those children have a strong foundation. Their brains are well stimulated. They have all the important stimulation at the early stage. You support them right through early childhood, into high school and through to university. But that requires a continuous and consistent engagement of parents, because parenting is parenting for life. You can't just plant the kids in school and believe that other third parties are going to take responsibility for them. There's something about the parenting, and you know, even have to be biological, but there has to be caregivers, preferably a male and female, to balance the socio-emotional needs of our children. But we need to have adults who are there for our children. They need us. You know, I sometimes, you know, I'm so affected what I see happen to more teenagers, because they are trying to identify themselves, find their way in life. They have no adult, they have no role model there for them. And we see it in how some of them get lost at age 15. You know, they turn to drugs and all kind of antisocial behaviors and so on. And all of this turns around and impact negatively on our society. And you know, we're talking about good values and attitudes, you know, us just being less violent, us being more loving and caring, us being very punctual and all that. All of these are values that parents need to inculcate. We must model them. We must inculcate them in our children if we want a better and prosperous society.
Yes. your information portfolio,
Yes.
Minister,
Yes.
the Prime Minister has spoken about the importance of transparency, accessibility of his own government.
Yes.
How crucial is this portfolio information?
Yeah,
what do you bring to it?
Right, it's very, very important because in an age where we have, you know, media, all type of media, social media, people want information at their fingertip, and they want accountable and responsive government. We don't want arrogance, and so the posture of this government is that we are servants of the people, and we must be there to answer the people, to serve the people. So I have articulated a protocol in terms of how our ministers will engage the media, how we'll engage the public, and I'm sure the public will already have seen a different change, a different approach in terms of how we are going to be serving the people of Jamaica.
So accessibility will be a byword.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Be responsive, be respectful.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Minister. The Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Senator Royal Reid, talking to us about the various areas under his portfolio. We thank you for your company. Next week we'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a pleasant day.